Buddy.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely wonderful. How about that out there, SEC backers?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
So the Mets, they went through a rough stretch where they were terrible, but, they win the series versus the Mariners. They're kind of turning things around just a little bit. Like, the offense has been there. You said they were in a playoff race. It's tough to say, they need to win. It's like trying to trust teams in different sports at the end of the season. But the hitters are hitting right now. Lean into the Mets, lean into the Phillies. These teams have something to play for, and they're cooking right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think what you saw last year is it's tough to say, it's projectable. But I do think it's something that when you're taking shots here, you're looking for a bye-week coverage wide receiver on your roster or a guy that has upside who's young enough to grow into more of a role. I think the development of Bo Nix was stunningly good last year. If we can build on that again this year, I think Marvin Mims is a really good selection as the 57th wide receiver off the board.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
What does he do after he hits the home run? He walks over to the fan and he pats him on the back and gives him a high five. This is the same fan that's been going after him for the entire game. Dave Roberts after the game saying, hey, look, every once in a while, it's kind of funny to see Shohei, who's got this wonderful personality that we almost never see. It was great to see him do that with the fans.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day on a terrific Tuesday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching, analyzing, betting on the world of sports. Full slate of baseball tonight. The Mariners are blowing it. The Cincinnati Reds are really blowing it. We got some WNBA games to get to. A little college basketball preview. Ohio State versus Georgia. Sort of this weekend. We'll get to it all over the next 2 hours. We got our SGP, we got our 5 on the line, we got our Black Cloud play, which did win last night. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So hopefully make a couple of shekels along the way. What's going on, Gabe? How are you tonight?
We're doing all right, Scott. I got my eye on the Major League Baseball card right now. We've got a real track meet going on in Cincinnati. And I just pulled the trigger, over 22 and a half runs. That's right, over 22 and a half. 10-6 right now, Scott. 10-6, like a football game, 10-6. We're only in the top of the 4th inning right now. And basically, it's a launching pad this evening. We know this is a hitter's park, but the ball is really traveling tonight. It seems like every fly ball ends up clearing the wall. The Blue Jays bullpen is terrible. The Reds started basically as a bullpen game. So this really should be, this might be special tonight, actually. Right on cue, there's another base hit. So, yeah, for those of you looking at the end game, Scott, absolute track meet going on right now. And I almost think of your opposite picks with the baseball game that's coming up in about a half hour's time with the San Francisco Giants. There's just so many trends, so many reasons why to like San Francisco tonight, Scott. It's almost scary.
Yeah, I got to tell you, they are part of the 5 on the line. Why don't we throw them out there right now? We can break it all down. 5 best trends for the games that have yet to get underway. 5 on the line. That will be one of them. I won't tell you which one. So let's start with number 5 as we work our way down to number 1. We'll start with a little baseball here. How about Baltimore, 3-9? I know they did win last night, but still 3-9 their last 12 games. So let's grab the San Diego Padres, who I don't think are going to lose 2 in a row. I would lay the buck 170, but Trent says Padres tonight minus 170 against Baltimore. Number 4, San Francisco. There you go, Gabe. 8-1 are the Giants. All of a sudden, the Giants are getting red hot. 8-1 their last 9 games. It's a big number. You want to put it in a parlay if you want to, but San Fran, the play, trend-wise, minus 230 against the Colorado Pathetic Rockies. As we all know, you don't need too many reasons to bet against Colorado. How about number 3? How about the Texas Rangers pulling one out of their hat last night? They remain on fire, 8-1 their last 9, including 6 straight. Back in Arizona tonight. Pick them. Give me Texas as the trend play. Pick them against Arizona, right? Down to number 2. How about the Stankies? Playing some decent baseball, especially on the road, believe it or not, where they couldn't buy a win a month ago. They're actually 9-1 their last 10 road games. So, trend-wise, let's grab by the way, they're actually 10-3 against the Astros, too, their last 13 meetings against the Stros. So, let's grab the Stanks, minus the 116 at Houston. And then that leaves us with only one, the creme de la creme, coup de grace, numero uno, number 1 trend for tonight is, how about WNBA, the New York Liberty, 3-15-1 against the spread on the road this year. Wow. So, where are we going to go, fellas? Yeah. How about Golden State plus the 6? I think Golden State wins this thing outright. New York can't buy a win. You throw out that 7-game win streak they had to start the season, and they're 1 game over 500. It's been a season really long struggle for them. Golden State fighting for a playoff spot. I actually like this play. Gave it out to the guys on the podcast. So Golden State plus the 6 against New York 8.
Even with Breanna Stewart back, Scott, they're still, they've won a couple of games, but they're still close games. And don't look now. One thing with Golden State, they're actually scoring, Scott. Right? We know Golden State can play defense, but they've actually scored 90 or more in 3 of their last 5 games. But I do like you talked about it. The San Francisco Giants are hot right now. Devers is hot right now. I think Devers player props are definitely worth taking a look at here this evening. But everything just lines up for them here. So as far as you want trends and digging deeper into the San Francisco game, Scott, so as you mentioned, the Giants are 8-1 in their last 9 games. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games against the Colorado Rockies. So the Giants have done a good job of taking care of business when they play the Rockies. Logan Webb on the hill tonight. He had it's sort of been an up and down year for Webb, but over his last 5 starts, Scott, 2.51 ERA, 32 strikeouts. He's 9-3 in his career against the Rockies. Then we get into Freeland. Like I said, it's almost too good to be true. Freeland gets lit up at home. Guy's got a 6.36 earned run average at Coors Field. I played a parlay already at plus 126 with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who were down 4-0, and they came back to tie it with the Giants at plus 126. But I'm not opposed to the Giants minus a run and a half here tonight, Scott. I think the Giants are going to roll the Rockies. And as I stated, man, Devers, player of the week, putting up some big numbers. This team is hot right now, and this is a hitter situation at Coors tonight, Scott. So I think the San Francisco player props come into play.
Yeah, from a long-standing picture, Gabe, the Giants may end up losing the battle, but winning the war. Like, they might be a little bit too far behind. They're 5 back with, 30 games left, 25 games left. That's tough to overcome. Not impossible. They certainly got themselves back in the picture, but at least they're getting a glimpse right after the first 2 months of Devers just being brutal. I mean, just awful as a San Francisco Giant. There's a Giant fan saying, what did we do? We're locked into this guy for 10 years, $30, $35 million, whatever his contract is, right? At least you're seeing, when Devers hits, and you said it, he's been on fire for about a month now, really. They win games. It's very simple. We saw it with the Texas Rangers when Corey Seager got into that nice little hitting streak that he was in for a few weeks. When the guys, hit, as the saying goes, at the back of their bubblegum card, when they put the numbers up they're supposed to put up, the Giants team's not a bad little team. So maybe a little too late right now, but at least like next year you could say, wow, all right, we didn't get screwed over in this trade because, Devers hot.
Well,
he's actually
what?
a pretty good player.
For all the talk and negativity about Devers, 264, 29 home runs, 94 RBIs. We basically have a month left in the season. So he's put numbers up despite the slump, right? Despite the slump. And we've seen it. Some guys struggle when they go to a new city. We talked about it with Suarez. Thing is with San Francisco, Scott, you've seen this. Anybody that follows baseball knows. The San Francisco Giants have tried to get numerous high-profile free agents, and they've fallen short, right? They thought they had a legitimate chance at Aaron Judge because he grew up a Giant fan. They went after Bryce Harper. They went after Ohtani, like player after Soto, like player after player after player after player. They've tried to get a superstar player, so I think they're just happy to get him. And then in the offseason, they'll try to keep on building with this. But baseball's an up and down sport. Devers is a good player. He had a bad month when he got there, but as you see, how skilled he is. Like, he's one of the best players in the league, Scott. No one can dispute it.
He is. I'm a Red Sox fan. I know Red Sox fans were happy. Oh, he was a disgruntlement. He was this. He was that. It's like, man, you know what? He was also a 30, 35 home run guy. A great guy to have in the middle of your lineup. He was putting up 100 RBIs, hitting close to 300. I mean, he's a good player. I knew he would turn it around. It was just a matter of when. So
plus 310, Scott,
say the
for
same
a home
thing
run
about
tonight.
Seattle.
Plus 310 for Devers.
Not bad.
At Coors. Come on, man.
At Coors. Yeah.
His 3 home runs this week.
He gave live tickets.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Just to recap our 5 on the line, we're going to go with the Padres minus the 170 against the Baltimore Orioles, who are 3-9 their last 12. We're going to take San Fran, red hot, 8-1 their last 9, going up against Colorado tonight. Texas pick them. They've won 6 in a row. We're going to grab the Stankies. Basically pick them at Houston. They're 9-1 their last 10. Also 10-3 against the Astros. And then our number one trend is Golden State plus 6 is the Liberty 3-15-1 against the spread on the road this season. So This is happening again to me, Gabe. I swear to God, it happens all the time. It really does. But let me just throw this out there real quickly because there was a walkover at the U.S. Open. So this Djokovic Fritz match, which was supposed to start at 9, is just now getting underway, right? So I have a 3-person parlay. You could still put it in now. The Joker is -2-1 against Taylor Fritz. Like I said, they're literally first sets, first couple of games. And then I'm going to use Osaka's match tomorrow. And when I put this in this afternoon, Gabe, I had to put Iga's match in, which is tomorrow as well. And she's -365, and it came out to be +116. All right, I got 3 favorites: Joker 2-1, Osaka 2.5-1, and Iga's -365. So Iga's match is right now, it's off the board for some dopey reason tomorrow. So I'm putting in the Joker at 2-1 and Osaka at -260, and it's giving me better odds right now than what I had when I added the 3rd person in there this afternoon. It doesn't make any sense. I swear, I've done this before. Like, you put it in at different times of the day, and I use FanDuel, so I'm not, I'm just saying what it is. You put it at different times of the day, and you get different odds. It's the craziest thing.
It has started this match. The Joker one, the Joker held serve. He opened up with serve. Normally, we've been talking about these totals, and they're normally 32.5, 33.5. The women 21.5. This one's got 39.5 right now, and I just clicked it, over 39.5. There's going to be multiple sets here, right? I don't think you figure. Listen, Joker's -225 right now. Fritz is +175 because he lost the first game. I personally think Fritz is going to knock him off, Scott, right? You and I talked about it, though. The championship, the top-tier players, they sort of find a way, right, when they're up against it, but put it this way. If Fritz can't do it, like, now, right, like, when is this going to happen for him? Like, you're talking about, like, Fritz is in his prime. Joker is older. The quick surface, Scott, is is brutal. Like, the Joker's better off on grass. You know what I'm saying? Like, slow things down a little bit now. Like, and Fritz has that booming serve. This should be a fun, like, 4 or 5 set. I'm expecting this. Probably goes 5, Scott, tonight. Like, they're going to be playing tennis all night, I think.
You know what? I don't think so, Gabe. I don't think so. Here's why. And listen, a lot of this is, from 2024. They haven't played yet this year. But he's not ever lost to Taylor Fritz, 10-0. He's won 23 of the 26 sets that they played. He's only had 2 matches out of the 10 where Fritz even won 1 set.
It's got to be psychological for Fritz.
Maybe.
Which is
now listen, that's when Joker was in his prime, and then you said he's not anymore, obviously.
Joker's,
but I gotta
he's
see
nowhere
it
near
to believe it.
He's nowhere near the player he was anymore, Scott. Right? Like, he's aged fast over the past couple of years, and you can see it. Like, it's almost to the point where, the last May, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, how many more does he have left? Right? So that's what's always scary, though, that the last hurrah, you know what I mean, with the great ones?
Right.
Because I don't think Joker has too much pride to hang around to lose, right? I don't think, like, he wants to become that guy that, the thing is, Scott, though, these on the men's side, nobody ever really steps up. Like you said, like, they all sort of get there, and then they can't beat them, right? The Taylor Fritzes of the world, the Ben Sheltons, the Aliassimes, right? Felix Auger-Aliassime, like, all these players, they go and they can't. That's why it's the same players all the time. Sinner, Alcaraz. Like, really, when you look at the men, there's really only like 4 consistent top-tier men players, Scott. And, it's like all the other ones are like solid top 10, top 20 type guys. But it seems like that gap is far between that 7th and 3rd and 2nd and 1st.
Yeah, and it's been that way for the longest time, Gabe. I mean, in the 70s when you had Agassi and McEnroe and Lendl and Connors, you had like 5 or 6 guys every tournament that could easily win. But from Pete Sampras on, there's always been 1, maybe 2 that have just dominated. You know, and with the Joker, we're seeing this slip a little bit, right? I don't think he could beat Sinner or Alcaraz in a match, right? In a big-time match right now. I don't think so. So today's game against Fritz is kind of like, okay, Fritz is on that second tier. Now, you know, are you telling me now, and it may be, that the Joker can't now beat the Taylor Fritzes of the world? This is like a kind of a statement like, okay, I might not be able to beat Alcaraz, and I might not be able to beat Sinner anymore, but I can still beat Taylor Fritz until it happens. So that's why I think the Joker wins tonight. You know, hope it's a good match, but
well, I bet over 39.5, and we'll see how this goes. But I tell you what, Taylor, he seems a little bit nervous, like to start here, right? Like if Taylor is going to get his, if Fritz is going to get his serve broken, Scott, he's in a lot of trouble because you know he is all serve. This guy. Right, and Joker right now advantage on Fritz's early serve, but I bet over 39.5. We'll see. You know, like you said, it's fascinating, right? We're to the point right now in this tournament, and as you stated, in Joker's career, Fritz's career, like if you're Fritz, like you know, at what point?
Too.
Like at what point? Yeah, that's like not 22. Young in tennis. Like he's getting up there, exactly.
No,
like at what point do you do it? You're at home. You're in America. You're facing an aging Djokovic. This is your time right now. But we'll see. This should be fascinating to see how it plays out. I bet over 39.5. But I tell you what, Joker keeps on getting the advantage here at 40-40. Scott's been like 3 times in a row.
I got the Joker. I laid a game and a half. I've been a little bit on the money line of minus the 2 and change or 196, but I also took him laying 1.5 sets. So I think he wins 3-1.
So you don't want 5.
So you get your 40.
So as long as you don't get 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5 I'm dead. 5 I'm dead. But I don't think it'll go 5. I really don't. So, but we'll see. Hope we get a good match. Something to watch tonight. All right, in-game live, game day, SGP coming up next.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 65 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 1, third segment. You know what time it is? Time for our SGP Same Game Parlay. Typical betting. The reason I used Texas and Arizona last night was because of Josh Young and how great he's been, and he was the one guy that killed us last night. He was the one guy out of all the props that we used that unfortunately didn't come through. But right back to the well. We came so close with that Texas rally. So right back on the Rangers in Arizona. We use Texas, pick them against the Diamondbacks. Why not? They're going for their 7th straight win. Texas is. We'll use over 9.5 Texas, Arizona. I think you're going to get a ton of runs once again tonight. Texas has been hitting the ball well, as Josh Young has been. So right back on Young. He only had 1 hit last night. Still, he's got a 9-game hit streak. He's got, 12 hits in his last 5 games. So back to Young. We need 1 run out of him and 2 bases. We didn't get any runs last night, and his 1 hit last night was a single. But we use it again tonight. And then we got to use 1 on Arizona to bump up the odds. We use Corbin Carroll to get 1 base hit for Arizona. So Texas over Texas, Arizona, 2 bases and a run from Young. And then Corbin Carroll, 1 base hit. It adds up to a nice little 7 plus 7, 13, 7-1 parlay, we'll just say, for Texas tonight.
You know what? Texas, they're just so streaky, Scott. Even in their games, like they come back, like they'll be, you give up on them, and they've had a few comeback wins in the last couple of weeks. I brought it up last night, and it's funny because I see Seattle Twitter talking about it now. We talked about the Mariners not taking advantage of the Astros struggles and overtaking the Astros, and not only that, now the Rangers are a game and a half back from them, and they're losing again right now. Right? They were. Is it 2-0 still? Like they were losing. I think it is still 2-0. Yeah, Seattle, like you said. I like Texas tonight too, Scott. I think they keep that going this evening. Arizona aren't that good. Let's just call it out for what it is, right? I mean, Arizona had high expectations, injuries, trades. This team, you know what I mean? I think they're going to stumble to the finish line starting in the next couple of weeks. And I think if you're a baseball player too, Scott, it's been a grind, man. Right, we're past Labor Day right now. Some of these players and some of these teams are starting to look at the finish line, and more so the ones that had high expectations. Right, like if you're a bad team, you're just playing for your stats, and everybody plays for stats. I get it, but I'm just stating I think the D-backs could be a fade. I don't think they're going to get hot or anything. The D-backs, I think their season's done.
Right, like Diamondbacks, Minnesota, St. Louis. Teams that, you thought maybe had a chance, and realistically, they're dead, and it's just like, it's over. I tell you, I know it's not going to happen, and I'm not even saying, Gabe, it should happen, but it would be the best thing, I think, for the Seattle Mariners to have your manager be fired. I mean, this team, they're 6-12 their last 18. I know it's not going to happen, but
you want to shake it up? You're looking at a big shake-up here?
Gabe. Well, they're crying out for something to have. That they're 6-12 their last 18. They're blowing it. It's like little Ralphie going down the slide in the Christmas Story. Wake up, Seattle! You got a chance to get into the postseason. Anything can happen this year. Nobody is great this year. You get out of this funk. You got a good team, good pitchers. So like they need the manager to be fired. I mean, I'm not advocating that, but they need something. To just,
if you look at their schedule,
have a bench clearing brawl, something.
It's almost, sometimes you need to play a struggling team to get it going, and you can build off of this. But they're getting all they can handle from the Rays. The Rays beat them 10-2 last night. They're losing 2-0 right now. After this, Scott, they get the Milwaukee Brewers on the road. Seattle's got to go to Milwaukee after this. Then they got to go to Atlanta. They got to survive, Scott, this. They've got to find a way to start winning some games before they get back home, right? They're a different team at home than they are on the road. They get home, and you just talked about, look at this. They get the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that's just beaten down and worn out right now. They get the L.A. Angels, California Angels. Then they're back on the road against Kansas City again. Then they get the Astros. They do get a little reprieve. How about this, Scott? The Seattle Mariners end their season with a 3-game set against the Los Angeles Dodgers. How random is that? And like LA probably could have LA could be playing for nothing that weekend, right? So, or they could be playing for the division still. Not ideal for the Seattle Mariners. Their schedule down the stretch. You think Texas passed them? Or would you bet that Texas passed them?
I think so. I think so. You know, and the Dodgers could be battling the Phillies for the second best record to avoid that best of 3 as well. So, yeah, I like Texas. I do.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid, midway through hour number 1. We got baseball, we got a little tennis, we got a little WNBA, no doubt look at a little college football. Big battle between Ohio State and Georgia. Believe it or not, we'll explain that in a little bit. But let's go back to the baseball board where we get more runs, by the way. 10-8 now, Toronto over Cincinnati. So Gabe's sitting on the over 20 and a half or 21 and a half. It's up to 22
and a half, Scott.
22 and a half.
The same age as Belichick's girlfriend,
good,
I think. Same numbers, the same ballpark. This total is in the Jordan Hudson age range. But
and the under, by the way, on that hit last night. So they didn't show her as much,
Wow, they were getting blown out.
So.
Thank God for TCU, killing them as much as they did to help me with the over. They single-handedly, pretty much helped us get it there. But nothing like sweating out an in-game over 22 and a half. 10-8, bottom of the 5th. Reds with runners on first and second right now. Marte coming up with 2-0.
Yeah, let's bring in our good buddy you saw there, Rob Donaldson, UnderdogFantasy.com. We have him on here all the time, UnderdogFantasy.com. Yeah, Rob, we were just going over the merits before you came on about the Texas Rangers. I had, listen, from the beginning of the season, you and I have talked many times, I had them facing the Dodgers in the World Series. So I've steadfast stayed on them. And then about 2 weeks ago, I just said I had enough. That's it. I'm giving up. And since then, they're going for their 7th straight win. They're 8-1, and they're looking like World Series contenders all over again. So where do you sit with the Texas Rangers?
Man, you and I have gotten burnt by them so many times over already this season. Yeah. And again, though, when you look at their makeup, when you look at the guys that they have, you would look at it and say just like, oh, wow, they must have like a stranglehold on this division. They have the most impressive pitching staff. In terms of the bullpen names, the production, the top 3 end guys in their rotation have been solid. And their lineup that really kind of struggled at the beginning part of the year has really turned it up as of late there too. And so, yeah, they're kind of a team that it's impossible to really know what their trajectory is moving forward, but they do have good pieces, and they can definitely win a lot of games.
Rob, I want to ask you about the San Francisco Giants, another streaky team. They're suddenly hot right now. They've owned the Rockies in the past, and me and Scott were talking about Devers and all the criticism of Devers, but he's really strung together. And when it's all said and done, the guy's got 29 home runs and 94 RBI right now, right? And people act as though he's hitting, he's totally struggling. But any props for you in this game? I thought it was a more than fair price getting Devers plus 310 to hit a home run at Coors. And I played Devers over 1.5 total bases at minus 115. Rob, what do you think about Devers? What do you think about the Giants tonight?
Yeah, and Devers has always been kind of one of those historical guys who does really well against lefty starting pitching, right? And Kyle Freeland's another dude who, at home, his home versus road splits have always been demonstrative. It doesn't matter if he's going up against a lefty lineup or a righty lineup. He's given up those bombs at some point in time. And so I would even say dig a little bit deeper in that Giants lineup. Try to find some guys who are maybe some lefty on lefty matchups that can hit it to that short porch and right, because yeah, to your point, I think the Giants are going to be able to fly some balls out in this game, and might as well get your value where you can, especially with kind of the Coors effect playing an odds sort of balance on these lines.
Back, they're down 5, Rob, with about 25 left. Too far back for the Giants to make the playoffs. Would you take a flyer on them to make the postseason at decent odds?
It's not the craziest one on the board. I'm probably staying off just because it's an offense that I don't know what the longevity kind of looks like. With the Rangers, I can see it. I can see why their streakiness. I can see why when they perform elite, why they're actually performing elite. The Giants seem to kind of muster up their offense in the residuals and almost like the unpredictable ways. So I'm staying off those Giants futures, but down the stretch in individual games, they are 100% a solid bet, especially when they're going up against a quote-unquote better team.
How about the Rangers? Plus 270 right now on FanDuel. I'm looking at it right here. I didn't think these odds would be up there, but they are for at least those two teams anyway, Texas and Houston. But how about you want to we talk about it? You want to go
to win the division?
With the Rangers?
To win the division, Scott? You're getting bold. Oh, to make plus 270 to make the playoffs right now at FanDuel?
Yeah.
I like it.
They're only a game and a half back coming into tonight, right? And Seattle are losing right now. Right? Seattle are losing right now. And I brought it up. Seattle, Rob and Scott, they play the Brewers next in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but when you're talking about the futures market, look at the teams coming up in their schedule for series. Like the Rangers have the easiest road out of the Mariners, Astros, and the Rangers. They have the easiest road by far. And if they're playing the best baseball on the easiest road, it's just going to take a Mariners or a Rangers-like blow-up down the stretch here to kind of get them out of that playoff mix down to the final week.
It does feel like Seattle are imploding right now. It just does, right? They're going in the wrong direction, and they don't have, they're on the road, Rob, still for a while, as you know. Look at their schedule, right? Even Atlanta. Atlanta's not, Atlanta, their bats are showing up on any given night right now. That's not an easy series for them. They're still on the road for basically another week, Seattle. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive this, guys, on the road, Scott and Rob, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and the Braves are playing a lot better baseball.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no, the Braves are playing a lot better baseball. They just got Chris Sale back. A lot of the guys that they've been throwing out there, like the Hurston Waldrops of the world, suddenly they're just fine and starting pitching again after trying to acquire Eric Fetty and Carlos Carrasco at the deadline. They've just turned out a whole new leave in that rotation. So, yeah, the Braves aren't a pushover team, and that's who the Mariners are coming up here.
How about the Pirates, guys, beating the Dodgers 7-4 right now? I swear, Dodgers, they got swept in Pittsburgh. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. They had a problem in Pittsburgh. They spotted the Pirates a 4-0 lead. The Dodgers came back, but, guys, 7-4 right now in the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-4 for the Buckaroos over the visiting Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, and they've won 7 of their last 10, right? Yeah, they've been playing good baseball. A lot of these bad teams, I know we want to kind of say, they're mailing it in, but the A's have been hot. The Marlins have been hot. The Braves have been hot. The Bucks have been hot. Are there really those kind of easy road games or just games in general against the bottom of Major League Baseball right now? It doesn't really kind of feel like that on a night-to-night basis.
Want to lay $174, $180 almost with the Padres tonight. I mean, I really don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row to Baltimore, but you, Darvish, he has been great. Where are you going, San Diego, Baltimore?
Well, when Tyler Wells is right, and right now he's coming off that IL stint for sure, but when he's right, I think he's one of the most underrated backs in all of baseball. Now, I do think it's probably going to be a shorter leash for him tonight, and Yu Darvish on the other side is somebody who I think is going to experience a ton of positive regression moving forward because he is limiting a ton of hard contact. He's just been kind of unnecessarily paying for it. And in this game, to your point, the Padres need to win games by limiting the other offense because their own offense isn't putting up runs. I actually like the under and the Padres kind of laying a run line through the first 5 innings in this game.
San Francisco and Colorado just started. Just for the record, they just started. Yeah, did San Francisco? They already got runners on here. Like, they're already causing damage here. The number of guys, the run line just went to 2.5 already in this game, just as it started.
Wow. You want to lay 2.5, Rob?
Not particularly, no. Not with the Giants, man, but it's just like one of those things where the Rockies and Cal Freeland, the fact that they've signed this guy to multiple extensions is just mind-blowing. It's almost like he's their kind of beat-up guy who just keeps getting trotted out there every single time, and maybe the Giants can take advantage of it. Maybe they can't.
That's what people were talking about Salt Lake City. I don't know what former big league pitcher I saw talking about. He goes, putting a team in Salt Lake City, no pitcher will want to sign there. It'll be like Colorado on steroids. It'll be the same type of thing. Yeah, poor Freeland. He's got a 6.36 ERA, Rob, at home, at course. I remember, though, picking on him, and he pitched well against the Dodgers. So what do we know, huh? Like, what? Yeah, baseball's crazy.
Rob, great job, Rob. UnderdogFantasy.com is the home for all the plays, all the fun. Thanks, Rob. We'll do it again soon.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Hell's breaking loose still.
How good are we? Wow, we got a brawl going on. Normally it's here in the studio, but here it's in Colorado now. San Francisco, Colorado, Gabe, and you got it, man. You said it. I'll give you all the credit. Rafi Devers plus 310 to hit a home run tonight. His first at bat. Boom. At Coors.
The hottest hitter in baseball was plus 310 at Coors tonight. Like, I was like, all right, let's roll it. All the time, Devers, one of those, sometimes, you roll with your gut. You just sort of roll with it. But all hell breaks loose, Scott. He crushed it. Like, he murdered the ball. Like, he absolutely murdered it over the right field wall, but he enjoyed his work too long. And I don't know, the Freeland flipped out. Like, the Colorado bench clearing brawl, they've been going at it pretty good too. There were punches thrown. It was like a rugby scrum. They were going back and forth, and all hell breaks loose. But we got a 2-0 game. So here it is. So Devers stops, watches. Okay. I don't really know what the problem is here. Like, okay.
And it was Freeland, the pitcher, who kind of started it?
Yeah. But the thing is, Scott, he didn't even bat flip. He carried his bat, down the first. He didn't, he admired it. I don't know about you, Scott. You'll see the highlight, I'm sure. Look on Twitter, whatever. But, bro, you're Kyle Freeland. You're not Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're Kyle Freeland. You don't.
You're on a team.
You want to talk about baseball etiquette? I guarantee you Devers told him, you're an effing nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love to know what was said, but I don't know. Like I said, you guys in Master Control, you guys saw it. You guys are watching this. Devers didn't antagonize him. Devers stood there. He watched it, but he didn't say anything to Freeland. He didn't look at Freeland. And then you see Devers is going down the first baseline, and he totally stops. What? What did you say? He turned around and all hell. I like Devers, though. He made sure to touch first base, and then he sort of went around.
Well,
all hell's broken loose.
Did
I don't
he
even
touch
know if
all
he
the
touched home
bases?
plate. No, I don't think he did. That's what I don't think he did. If they take this off the board. Wait, let's see Devers.
Remember Arizona? Remember Arizona and the Mets in the playoff game?
I'm looking, Scott, in the
20
mess
years
here
ago?
to see if he ran in and just sort of touched the base to be smart, and touch home plate and say, hey, I touched it. He never got around the base, Scott.
Wow.
The fight started after first base. He never got around the bases, bro.
I don't think that. I don't know. I've never seen that except for that playoff game.
You can't penalize him for them stopping. They ran on the field, Scott. You know what I mean? That's not his fault.
Right. So it's not a celebration like it was with the Mets in the playoffs. Remember that game about 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Where they got the walk-off home run, but they celebrated before he touched. A buddy of mine had.
That was the best.
The over bit.
It cost. It cost the run line. Yeah.
It cost people
didn't
the
count
over.
the runs.
Yeah,
he didn't count. You're right.
Yeah.
Only the runs ahead of him counted, Scott. Remember? They're like, no, it wasn't 6-4. It was 5-4 or whatever it was.
5-4.
I was like, no, it was 6-4.
Yeah.
It was 6-4. They were like, no. He never touched the bag. He threw his helmet up in the air at second base and never went around. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Imagine, Scott, if they took this off the board.
Under.
Imagine if they took this off the board. You would have talked about a bad beat right now.
And he's going to get thrown out.
Celebrating.
And he's going to get thrown out, right? You would think, Devers, if he's involved in a fight, so he's not going to get any more chances?
We got a long meeting, Scott. The umps are just talking here right now. All right, Matt Chapman was the one that came in first at Freeland, for the record. Chapman came in and shoved him pretty good. So Chapman started the physical stuff. The umps, Scott, right now, they got a chart out, bro. They look like cops, right now, in Times Square. They got tickets.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing they're going to give him the opportunity to circle the bases. If you tell me Colorado started it.
Yeah. So they could kick him out.
We're going to kick you out of the game.
But the thing is, he didn't start it. He didn't start it.
Right.
He didn't do anything.
But he was involved.
You can't kick someone out for watching. He hit the home run, he watched it, and he sort of slow walked to first base, and Freeland lost it.
Wow.
Wild start, though, huh? Fun stuff.
Yeah. How crazy is that? What did we say? I said this is what Seattle needs. Forget San
You're
Fran.
right.
San Fran's already hot. You don't need that, San Fran.
It's a good point.
Seattle needs the bench clearing brawl.
I'm telling you right now, San Francisco are going to murder them after this tonight, too. We already liked it.
Yeah.
Now, Scott, like you said, their dugout's all fired up right now. Looks like Freeland's getting kicked out. Yeah, looks like they're losing the pitcher, which I don't know if it's a good thing for us because he's so bad.
Yeah, he's so bad. Yeah, that might not be a bad thing for Colorado.
You know what I mean? Like, I bet, he got a 6.36 ERA at home. Like, we're already down 2-0.
Yeah. This will be the Giants telling the umpire, no, keep him in there. Keep him in there. Don't worry about it. Well, you can throw
Yeah.
out.
I would say if you go up, no, we got no
Yeah.
problem with Freeland. It's fine. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's okay.
I got
He's
to
a good
believe
guy.
Chapman's going to get kicked out because Chapman, this is kind of chaos, actually, all kidding aside for the game, because we don't know who they're going to kick out here, Scott. Chapman's definitely getting kicked out. Freeland was talking, and Chapman was the first one that ran up and, like, shoved him on the hill type deal.
Did the guy on base, Gabe, touch home plate? Because remember, there's a guy on first base. Did he circle the bases before
I
the
don't
brawl
think
started?
he did either. I can't put my hand on a Bible here, but all hell broke loose, Scott, pretty quickly. I don't think he had time. Like, Colorado stormed the field.
Wow.
You're Colorado. What are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys doing? You suck. So what? Like, I don't understand this. If you're Colorado, like, what? This is your response to a bad year, Scott? Now? Well, you showed them.
Yeah, now?
Like, what do you? Yeah, like, you didn't even hit anybody.
I could see if the guy did a bat flip or circled the bases or did a Savannah Banana type of play, but it doesn't sound like he did any of that.
I'm watching the highlight over and over. He watched it. Freeland was the one that mouthed off first. Like, Devers didn't look at him and say anything. Like, it was Freeland. I got to believe Freeland's getting kicked out of this game, but this is chaos, Scott. I mean, the umps are still all talking right now.
I bet they don't know. I tell you, I do a little umpiring, not umpiring, but I do basketball refereeing, AAU stuff and high school stuff. And there are like so many quirky rules, Gabe, that you don't even think of that you have to know.
Yeah.
And I bet the umps are saying, like, what, do we allow them to score the runs? How do we,
Yeah, they got to get it right, too.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and two other teams with 55 and probably another two that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62 and a half wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Craziness continuing. We'll update the San Fran, Colorado situation here in a second. But final segment, hour number 1. Time for our Black Cloud Play of the Day. All right, we kind of got messed over here with the U.S. Open because I was going to use, and I still will, the Taylor Fritz Novak Djokovic match, which was supposed to start at 9, but one of the women's matches was a walkover, so they pushed the start up a little bit. So you can still put the play in. It's pretty close to the number. I like the Joker. We gave the numbers before. He's undefeated, 10-0 against Taylor Fritz. And until I see Taylor Fritz beat one of the ultimate big boys, and until I see the Joker lose to someone outside of Sinner or Alcaraz, if I can get him at a modest number, -2-1 you see there. He's -260 right now. He's up 5-3, which is actually not a bad price. He's up 5-3 in the first set.
334
break,
now.
Obviously. Yeah, now just up to 320. Yeah.
Up to 334 now.
You know what?
I'll tell you what, though. Fritz has rattled off
Fritz
a couple of
win
wins. It was nice, though, that Fritz didn't roll over for me. He's going to need to win a set, right? I got to win a set, like point blank. I'm not going to get to 39.5. Unless, you need 7-5, 7, it wouldn't get there.
7-6,
so I need to win a set.
Yeah.
But, when you bet a total, Scott, every game counts, right? So if I can lose this 6-4, at least I got 10 out of the first set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think if he wins this game and he's up 40-30, then those odds will drop down to, now it's 290. It'll probably drop to around 250, 260, something like that. So you might be able to get that bet in. So hopefully you will. But yeah, he's going to have to win a set somewhere along the line. I don't think he's going to get blitzed. This is a great opportunity for him. So I would think somewhere
losing
maybe
the first
up
two
to
games.
down 2.
He pretty much lost the first set by losing the first two games, Scott. That's the it's like a football game. It's like being down 14-0 against your big rival that you lose to all the time. It's going to be different. No, I'm down 14-0 after the first quarter. Like you've dug yourself a psychological hole already again.
Yeah. It's like we talked about yesterday when you had Aaron Crickstein on. The better players, they just, when it comes to all it is that little edge, all right? I'm going to either get it in the end when it's 5-5 or I'm going to get it in the very beginning when it's 0-0. And then you just, men's tennis, you don't break that often. You just don't. It's all basically, 125-mile-an-hour serves. And if you could break one time, you're so far ahead of the game, even though it's just one game ahead. It really is the difference in one of these games and these sets. So, all right, so 5-3 Joker. So what's the latest now? So they allowed Devers to run the bases, so it is 2-0.
Yeah, so
good
call by you. Good call by you. They're really, you got to touch home plate, point blank. Like they don't award you the runs. So you were right. The umpires were aware of this, but like I said, Scott, at the time, yeah, but it wasn't their fault they didn't touch home plate. The Colorado Rockies stormed the field. What do you want them to do? Start bashing people over the head with a bat? Get out of my way! I got to get to home plate. Right? So. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, Scott. After all that with the umpires, they told everyone, move back, and boom, they both ran the bases. They both ran the bases. And Devers, taunted the crowd even more, Scott, after. Because imagine, he was all alone now. He really, dude, the Giants were all waiting for him to dug out, and I don't know. I hate the Giants as a Dodger fan, but I almost want to bet on them make the playoffs now after this, Scott, like you were talking about. These guys are fired up, man. And they're red hot right now. And they're probably going to beat the crap out of the Rockies all week and rack up wins. We know they beat them. They're 8-2 in the last 10 against them.
Yeah, 6-1 last 7. In fact, let me check out of curiosity. Who do they face next? Although when you're this hot, it almost doesn't matter. But if you could be facing a Cardinals or Washington Nationals team or some patsy, it'll just help their cause even more. They face coming up next. At St. Louis. Yeah, that's not bad. And Arizona at home. Not bad.
That's manageable. That's very manageable.
Yeah.
And then they get the Dodgers. They get the Dodgers for 3. Rivalry, throw out they play the Dodgers tough, right? It's the Dodgers-Giants, big time. Then they get the D-backs again. Then they get the Dodgers again, but get this. Then they get the Cardinals, and they end the season with the Rockies in San Francisco.
Right.
Hey, if you're San Francisco, Scott, knowing you end with the Rockies, you sort of gone with, listen, we got to stay within just a game or two, and we can really end the season strong, right? And rack up the wins in the final weekend.
I tell you, I looked at the Mets schedule. I don't know it offhand. I do know, though, I remember saying the Mets have a difficult schedule. Like, this is an easy schedule compared to the Mets schedule, who at this point is
very manageable for San Francisco, yeah. Mets are rolling tonight, though.
They put up a flyer on will they make the playoffs at like 6, 7, 8 to 1, maybe? And that's worth a couple shekels. Hour number 2 coming up.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 2. Craziness with some baseball. We got a little tennis, a little WNBA. So 2-0 Giant. We'll go back to that one because that's the most fun,
I didn't think
right?
I'd be locked in, Scott, on this game like I am right now. Like, of all the games going on tonight, I wasn't planning on watching
Colorado.
I'm watching it right now still.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got to watch this still. What's going on?
Should we bet him for another home run? I wish. I know they would never do it.
Devers?
Who knows? Gambling
hit another one?
2025. Well, either hit another one or be hit, right? I mean, one of the two. You know, how many guys are going to get plunked? Did they ever put a bet up there in some of these sites? How many guys? Would there be another bench clearing brawl? I bet yes. This is only the first inning.
You can't, if you're the Rockies, whoever throws at him, like, he didn't do anything. So you're going to get suspended for like 10, 15 games, right? Because you really are just going, and you're the Rockies. You know what I mean? Like, you're the Rockies. Like, what are you doing? What are you starting fights for? Like, you're one of the worst teams in the history of baseball. Devers is you know, it's funny, Scott. I was just going to say, Devers is plus 320 to hit another home run. And it just dropped, but it just fell back up. So, yeah, plus 320 to hit another home run tonight, Devers. Dude, he's smoking hot, Scott. That's his 4th home run of the week, man. And now he's at Coors.
Yeah.
I think he hit 339 this week with 3 home runs.
Like I said, my only concern is they wouldn't give him anything to hit, and they'd plunk him. But if you plunk him, then you got to get another bench clearing brawl. So maybe they tell him to pitch him outside. Don't let him, show us up or something.
And the worst part is, who can you plunk on Colorado?
I would do it.
Who can you plunk on Colorado, Scott, to get them back? There's no one.
Colorado.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
We're going to plunk. We're going to show you.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, like you throw a
They
ball
don't
in
have
their
any
dugout.
veteran
You want to get them? whip a ball into the dugout. Like, hey, screw you. Like, just in all of them. But like, they don't have any star players that you can sort of warn, right? And say, all right, listen, because that's always the big thing, right? Whenever things get out of hand in any sport, like even football. Like Warren Moon told me a great story, Scott, about when he was playing for Buddy Ryan. And he said Buddy would tell the defensive players to step on the fingers of the quarterback, and like little things like that were just evil.
Right.
You know what I mean, Scott? With your cleat, like just after the play when you're getting up. Oh, sorry about that. Like just little evil things. And Warren Moon, and Warren Moon said guys would tell him, "Listen, Warren, we love you, bro, but you better tell Buddy Ryan to stop taking cheap shots at the quarterback. Otherwise, we're going to murder you." Just tell him. Like, so it's a little code on the field. Like, they told Warren to tell Buddy, and Warren would tell Buddy, hey, they mean it. Like, they're going to get me, coach. He'd be like, oh, you know, Buddy Ryan is all way, Scott, right? But it's a funny story.
Defense.
Yeah, he's like, if Warren Moon gets lit up, I don't care. Buddy Ryan didn't care. Right? Like, Buddy Ryan was the same guy, though, that in the first game of the year, the Eagles were playing the Cowboys. He was the coach of the Eagles, and he told the room, it was only like $1,000, but it was a little bit of money in those days, like 30, 40, 35 years ago type deal. But he said, all right, I got $1,000 for anybody that lights up Zendaya, their kicker. And everyone in the room is like, their kicker, coach? And he goes, I'm dead serious. He goes, on the opening kickoff, I got $1,000 after the game for anybody that lights them up. And they're like, why do you want to get the kicker? And he said, because this son of a bitch missed the field goal in the Pro Bowl last year and cost us all the $50,000 bonus. Kind of love the old school, eh? Buddy Ryan, man. Buddy Ryan.
Cool. Remember him getting to the fight on the sidelines on Monday Night Football with the guy from the Houston?
With his own crew, Kevin Gilbride, with his own guys.
Kevin Gilbride.
That's all you need to know about Kevin Gilbride. He punched the offensive coordinator, guys, because he didn't like the play calls. Buddy Ryan, coach, I told you to start running the ball more, and he just punches him.
I saw some documentaries on that.
We've all wanted to punch an OC, Scott, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan hated each other too.
Offense versus, definitely. He's
There's
the only
famous
assistant
one
coach
with your
that got
Dolphins.
carried off after a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're exactly. The defense carried him off. Your Dolphins, remember, it was the game of the century when the undefeated Bears went in there.
Right, yeah.
And Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan, basically, Mike Ditka would have killed him in a fight, but they, came really close to getting into a fight. They had to be separated at the half. The Bears were undefeated. It was week 13. And Mike Ditka told them, listen, they're carving up your freaking dumb zone 2 defense. They figured it out. And he goes, our zone 2 defense, the reason we're undefeated. And he goes, well, Dan Marino's carving us up, so we better change things. And they went at it pretty good. Remember they played in the Fog Bowl, Scott? Remember that epic playoff game with the fog at Soldier Field?
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah,
Eagles, Bears.
That's I still say, as a Dolphin fan, I still say, that's the greatest Super Bowl that never happened. The rematch. That was the year the Patriots upset the Dolphins and the Bears just annihilated the Patriots. The Dolphins never should have lost.
Oh, yeah. There would have been a more competitive Super Bowl,
that would have been
at least.
Yeah, that would have been a phenomenal. That would have. I think listen, ratings are through the roof right now. I think if they ever played that game with Marino beating them earlier in the year and everything, the Bears being as good as they were, Walter Payton, I think that Super Bowl still would be the highest watched Super Bowl, heading into this season. That's how big a game that would have been.
This one's going to be big this year, although I was thinking about Super Bowl 60. It's just every year, Scott, they break records with this and that and digital and Netflix
but there's
and
gotta
Amazon.
Be a rivalry. There's got to be a hook to really, Patriots undefeated a few years ago. There's got to be if I told you, Gabe, give me 2 teams you'd want to see in a Super Bowl. Not take your fandom.
Well,
I'm
a Bills fan. But let me throw it at you, just from a storyline perspective. Buffalo Bills versus Detroit Lions, 2 teams that have never won the Super Bowl before. 2 long-suffering fan bases.
That'd be good.
Not a bad one there. Bills, Eagles.
That's not bad.
Bills, Eagles. Who else? Who do you think can make it? The Baltimore Ravens can make it. Who do you think makes it? I'm dismissing the Chiefs. I don't know if I'm just sick of them. I don't want to pick them to win or go. I think it's Buffalo or Baltimore, Scott, to represent the AFC this year.
That seems to be the consensus, right? And if that's the case, they play week 1 You know, that's a two-game swing, right? You know,
for home
now
field.
You have to overcome. The loser has got to have the winner lose twice now in order for you to overtake them, because they would lose a head-to-head tiebreaker. I mean, that is a humongous. We got some really good games this week. You know, whether it's Detroit or Green Bay.
Yeah, Tampa, Atlanta is not the most high profile, as far as glamour, but division game, the best two teams in the division. How about San Francisco going into Seattle, another divisional tilt?
Yeah. So it's NFL doesn't screw around. That's why it's kind of weird with the. Listen, I get it. College football, it's a different game, but you know they open up with such mismatches. It's just thank goodness.
Yeah, but you look at college.
Come to the table and pay the money. There's
look
no
at this week, Scott. Look at this week, college. It's already a big letdown after last week. Whoa, where are the games? You sort of keep scrolling and scrolling. You're like, what? So you got Iowa State.
You're waiting.
SMU Baylor earlier in the day, and Michigan Oklahoma at night. And other than that, there's a lot of fluff, Scott.
Yeah. That's why I was bringing up Ohio State versus Georgia. Georgia's
what are you
hosting
talking about
Austin Peay game. Austin Peay. And Ohio State's hosting Grambling. The point spreads aren't out, but what are we talking? 50-point spreads? I mean, what's the point of those
56 and a half?
Grambling. Is that what it is?
I'm going to say, they can't put 49
who's going to be a bigger favorite? Georgia or Ohio State?
I'm going to say Ohio State.
Both at home.
I'm going to say Ohio State.
I'm going to say
You know, Georgia, Scott, Georgia were laying 38 and a half. I'll find a number here during the break. 38 and a half to Marshall. They won by 38.
Yeah, let's see what it is when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in game live. Game day here on the grid. I'm just looking through the schedules here. Austin P and in the words of Rick Pitino, John Robinson is not walking through that door, folks, for Grambling. All right, so they haven't had a winning season in at least 5 years. I stopped looking. So they're awful. Austin P had a losing record last year. They're brutal. So the lines aren't out, but Gabe and I are both suggesting 50. You know, we saw Texas Tech a 50-point-plus favorite.
I say Ohio
last
State
week
are
against
bigger
Arkansas
favorites.
Pine Bluff.
They'll be in a similar range, but I say Ohio State are bigger favorites. That was the question, right? Like,
all right, I'll take
I'm going to say 54 and a half, 53 and a half, 54 and a half. That's my guess for Ohio State. Georgia, I'll say 47 and a half.
All right. Who scores more, Austin P or Grambling?
Oh, that's a good one because they're both. Yeah, that's a good one. They're both. They're. Marshall did move the ball.
Will either score double digits?
No. Oh,
will
God,
either score double digits?
No.
Not twice, right?
No. And dare I say,
who was this?
I had money on that game, Scott, the Marshall Georgia game. So I was watching it. Marshall had first and goal once, like on the 2-yard line. They did move the ball. I think they got a penalty and they moved backwards. And like Georgia's defense wanted the shutout, so they stepped up. But Marshall did move the ball a bit. But I think Marshall they're better than Austin PR, and they couldn't score on Georgia. And Arch Manning in Texas couldn't score on Ohio State. So I don't see how Grambling are.
Yeah. Was it Marshall? There was a team that scored to avoid a shutout. They kicked a field goal in the final play of the game from like 30 yards out rather than just go for it.
Did they? Which one was that? I don't know. I'll look at the scoreboard.
I'm not sure.
There was one, Scott, though, that was upsetting me. It was the Penn State game against Nevada. Because Penn State, they started off slow. They didn't win the first half, but then they were up like 26-3 or something at the half. And, you did the math. It was like, you know what? All they really need is like 17 points or whatever. And it looked like they were going to cover it. You and I talk a lot about Franklin caring about covering. And freaking Nevada, man, give them credit. They scored a late touchdown and went for 2, Scott. Just blew that point spread up. Blew it up with that. All it takes when you lay that big number, Scott, is one big, I was on Michigan. Bad bet. Laying a 34.5. I laid 21 in the first. They were up 14-0. They were sort of cruising. They seemingly got too into the they sort of got bored quickly, and all it took was one fake punt, bro. New Mexico ran a fake punt on us or whatever it was. It was a little trick, fake field goal, whatever it was. It worked. There it was. They scored a touchdown. It was like, yeah, we're not going to cover now because of that. And, yeah, it just sort of blows up quickly. So, lesson learned, laying the big points.
When you lose the shutout. Yeah, when you lose the shutout, right? If it's a shutout, then the team is, okay, we're going to continue to score. We want to keep the defense off the field. But once you lose the shutout, then it's like, all right, whatever. We can win 30-7 or 40-7.
No, you're right. You're a good call, Scott. Michigan's defense seemed to lose interest after they blew the shutout. Then they sort of, New Mexico started moving the ball on them a little bit, right? But I think Michigan really did hold back their play calling. It was very vanilla. Like they were running the ball up the middle, and it was a lot of, even their passes were quick hits. They didn't show a lot. They're playing the Oklahoma Sooners this week, guys. I think, Scott, they're getting too many points. This is an overreaction because, like you and I talked about, you routed Illinois State, and now John Mateer, and, they're unbelievable. Oklahoma's back. All right, Michigan are a good road team, man. Michigan can win on the road, Scott. I think Michigan grind out a low-scoring defensive battle.
Yeah. This is one of those where I think Gabe, college football wants Oklahoma to be good, right? College football is better when Oklahoma is good. Yeah. They're better when Miami is good. So whenever a team like Nebraska falls into that same situation, so whenever a team like that shows just a little something, they get all hype. Yeah, Oklahoma's bad, Nebraska's bad, and the point spreads go through the roof,
today,
and in reality,
where was Nebraska ranked in that AP poll? I don't like to worry about these polls early in the season, but the AP poll came out.
I'll tell you in a second.
I saw someone say, Nebraska is ranked 10th or something. And I'm like, there's no way in hell Nebraska are like the 10th best team in the country. There's no way.
Yeah, no, they're not ranked.
No, I know.
They're not ranked.
But like they had like I think it was Danny Kanell's. It was a college football analyst, his own type of rankings, type of deal. But yeah, I don't really get too upset about these rankings. I'll tell you what. I don't know if there's 24 better teams than Utah in the country, Scott. They're ranked 25th.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? There's a few teams at the back end. TCU are unranked. They look like they can compete in the Big 12. You and I talk about that Big 12, Scott. Yep. Man, that's wide open, huh? Seriously, that's wide open.
That is going to be wild.
Texas Tech,
every single
TCU, wow. Baylor, SMU. Like, we can go on and on, bro. It's insane, that conference. Houston Cougars.
Yeah. I mean,
Utah
I just hope they don't beat each other up so they don't get any. Well, they'll get one, obviously. But, realistically, that might be, from top to bottom, that might be the second best conference behind the SEC. From top to bottom. Because I'm not a big Ten guy. It's top-heavy Big Ten. All those other teams, Minnesota's.
But how about the SEC, Scott?
Illinois is pretty good.
Look at the SEC. You can't tell me it's not top-heavy. All right, like Alabama aren't Alabama anymore, so let's take them out of it. So you have who are the elite SEC teams? Right, Georgia, LSU,
Texas,
and Texas who are kind of underachievers, though, right?
Yeah.
But let's give them that. You look at the Big Ten. You've got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon. Pretty good teams. Iowa, pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Year in, year out. Then it drops. Washington maybe this year. We'll see.
Yeah. No, the Big Ten's better now,
I'll give you South Carolina.
It is better.
I think South Carolina and Vandy would carry the bottom of the SEC a little bit more this year. Although I was not thrilled with South Carolina the other day in Lenore's, for all Sellers, for all the pub he's been getting. But I like that Vandy team, though. I wish
they lost a lot of talent, Scott. Sellers is a stud, but that's his one thing why his draft stock rose. For the record, Scott, Arch Manning was the favorite to be the number one pick of the draft. He's not anymore. Garrett Nussmeier is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He fell like 5 spots. One game, 5 spots.
Wow.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Turn our attention back to a little baseball here. Mets just finished off a 12-5 win over the Detroit Tigers. Mets win the battle and maybe even the war. They had that kid pitching again tonight. Nolan McLean went 6 innings, showed he was human. He actually allowed 2 runs for the first time in 4 starts, God forbid. Struck out 7. 90 pitches, his ERA rose to 1.37. I tell you what, I mean, 4 starts, he's getting to the point where, okay, the teams have a book on him, and he's still, at least tonight anyway, doing well. So Metsies win 12-5, so all the teams that are trying to catch the Mets need to win just to keep pace tonight. So 9-6 Pittsburgh over the Dodgers as they bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, so one more crack for L.A. Need a couple of runs here that slow down. Toronto 11-9 game, bottom of the 8th inning. Cincinnati does have a runner on third base, albeit with 2 outs. My book is showing here.
It just ended. The inning
just ended.
Inning just ended. So we're going to the top of the 9th with an 11-9 game. Extra innings would help. Listen, I'm on the Jays as well, but I already got paid for it. Bet365 pays you for the win if your baseball team gets up by 5 runs, which is a nice perk. So you don't have to stress out comebacks. So yeah, like I already got paid for the Blue Jays. That's when I jumped in. I'm like, I'll bet the over as well. But, Scott, a bet that I left on the table tonight, I don't know how you felt about it. Actually, you did. You said you liked the Yankees tonight, actually. And the Yankees are up 2-0.
Yeah.
So it's Fried versus Valdez. You and I know we follow Valdez closely. He's not quite, as dominant as he has been. But I thought he would pitch well tonight. So long story short, I like the under 8. But, I just didn't pull the trigger. I was one of those, I like it, but I didn't bet it. I just jumped in now, so maybe I'm an idiot. It's 6.5 right now, but we're into the top of the 5th inning right now. It's 6.5 with a 2-0 baseball game, Scott. So I'm just going to hope this Yankee bullpen doesn't blow up. But you and I talk a lot about this Astro team, and they're getting no hit right now, Scott. The Astros don't have a hit tonight. This is common.
They had one game, with 12 or 13, I think. I think it was 13, actually. 13 straight starts for Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez
They've now lost.
Yeah.
They did win his last outing, but they've lost 5 of his last 6 starts. I mean, that kind of
unbelievable, huh?
Houston's not Houston.
And they nearly get no hit it seems like every 2 weeks, this team. I remember it was a couple of weeks ago. You and I look at them, they nearly got no hit by that Brown dude on the Baltimore Orioles. Was that his name? I think it was Young or Brown.
Yeah, Brown.
Brown.
Yep, Brown.
So, but how many times have we seen where we say, look at the Astros only have 2 hits. The Astros only have 3 hits. Well, tonight they have 0 hits so far. And I guess we got to do it. We got to do it, right? What's the no-hitter prop? Yeah. And this is earlier. Normally I jump in. I've done this 3 times on this show. Late in game, Scott, around the 7th or 8th, and I jump in, and I always get plus 750, plus 850, and they always give up a hit immediately after I bet it, all the time. So we'll see how this. It's locked right now, but it'll be back up. It'll probably be a pretty nice number, 12-1, 14-1, or something like that.
Yeah.
And consider we're still only in the 5th, right?
Before the games, they do offer that before the games. And it's usually around 20 or so to 1. And they don't give you great odds for as few no-hitters as you get. You should be getting 100-1 odds on this stuff, but it's not. It's 20, 25-1. But I tell you, you looked at, good pitcher versus the Astros. You said it. That's a halfway decent bet if you wanted a little flyer on something. But, I don't see it right now. But hopefully they'll pop those up. Popular.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see, Scott, and I don't know, off top of your head if you'd agree, but historically in baseball, you get no-hitters late in the year because you got call-ups, random stuff happens, some lineups are pretty weakened. I'd like to know, Scott, most no-hitters by month through the regular season. What month do they happen?
Yeah.
I would say early and
September.
Late. I would say early and late.
Right.
You sort of get those sort of early ones, you know what I mean? Pitcher, the hitters are slow in one game or whatever behind them, behind. But I'd like to factually see this. I'm going to look it up after. Might take a little while, but I want to find that out.
I don't think so. Have we? This year? I don't think we have we?
I think we have. Wasn't there a team one?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know if one guy did it, but wasn't there a team one? Feels like the Astros do it all the time.
I could be wrong. Yeah, I'll have to Google that on
it goes to show how, like, oh, you're in the history books. No, you're not. We forget, like, right after.
Yeah, I know.
I mean? You're like, you are in the history books, but in the public consciousness of everyone. Astros under 2.5 is plus 340. They don't have a 0.5.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and two other teams with 55 and probably another two that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. We got baseball. We got a little tennis. Also got some WNBA games. We got 2 West Coast games, both starting in about a half hour or so. So let's bring in the coach, Coach James Young, our SportsGrid basketball analyst, to get some predictions out of him. What's going on, Coach? How are you tonight?
Good. 2 games in the WNBA. Remember, folks, WNBA regular season ends next weekend or late end of next week. So a lot of teams, 4 or 5 games. It's kind of interesting, Scotty, because you have seeds 2 through 4. They all have the same amount of losses. And the Liberty are 2 games behind that. So a lot of jockeying for position down the stretch of the WNBA.
All right.
Phoenix and
let's start with
Mercury.
the first game. Yeah. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, Phoenix and Mercury, guys. From a player perspective, I wanted to get Coach's thoughts. Cooper, Coach. Phoenix are good because they're a pretty deep team, right? They got 3 players that basically average 16 points a game. But Cooper's been on fire, guys. Her prop is 15.5 tonight. She's gone over, Coach, in 5 of her last 7 games. The Fever don't really play very good defense. They're totally injured. Their defense got worse with Cunningham out of the lineup right now. Guys, I'm looking to lay the points. The Mercury are hot right now. 6-1 straight up the last 7, 14-6 straight up at home. Coach, are you with me laying the points with the Mercury? And do you like the Cooper prop over 15.5?
Yeah, the Kalia Copper, a.k.a. the walking bucket. Listen, it's amazing, Gabe, because I don't think a lot of people looked at Phoenix as being somewhat contenders. I thought with Satu Sabli and Alyssa Thomas go with Kalia Copper that they were going to be absolutely fantastic. I went with a different way. I think there's points. So I took the Fever team total over 78.5. Under the last 2 games, gave the previous 7 games that went over that. too low of a total, I think, for obviously for Indiana. I think what people look at is the Mercury. 6 of the last 8 games, teams have scored over 79 or more points. The 2 games they did not. 63-point game versus the Liberty. They're a hot mess. We'll get to them in a minute. And the Valkyries, who can't score. So to me, I think there's points. I still think there's chance that they cover, but it's so close to me, especially getting it, Gabe, at 3 possessions. So I just went team total over 78.5 for the Indiana Fever tonight.
The one thing, the Valkyries do score now, though, suddenly. The Valkyries do score. So they've scored 90 or more in 3 of their last 5 games, guys.
Yep. And it's interesting because, that game is going to be really interesting because of the fact that, Gabe, when you, especially as a coach, once you get to like 3 possession games, that's really hard. So with the Liberty laying, the 6.5, which we were earlier in the day, I think it's still at that. Right now, 5.5, 6, 5.5. So you get that 5.5, maybe. But I'm going to go somewhere different. I think the Liberty's got to get their defense right. So I'm going team total. It was 77.5. It's moved to 75.5. I'm going to take the Golden State Valkyries team total under. They've been under 2 of the last 3 games. Liberty, 4 of the last 5 to the over. But think about this. They got to lean on their defense. They got to be better. And remember that all the games that the Golden State Valkyries played earlier versus the Liberty had, obviously, Kayla Thornton. She's out. Team total under 77.5 for the Golden State Valkyries. 75.5, you got to shop around.
All right, where do you stand on the Liberty, Coach? I mean, honestly, they've not played well. Even with Brianna Stewart back, they've been up and down. They've been losing some games. They're an under 500 team. You throw out the 9-0 start, they're an under 500 team. Are they going to turn it on come playoff time? Or you know what? It's just not happening this year for them.
You know what, Scotty? It's amazing you said it because they were 9-0, and everybody forgets about it. Jonquel Jones, who I've told people on this network for years, is the most indispensable part of that team. She may not be the best. That's probably Stewart. She may not be the most dynamic. That's Anescu. But she's the most important. And they haven't been right, Scotty. You're right. Since she's been down under 500, 9-0 start the season, though. So that's 15-16. Since then, or 15 and 16, I do believe.
Like that.
So they're under 500. So to me, and then what happened, Scotty, is Stewart got hurt. They brought Messiman in. Anescu's missed games. Cloud gets games. You have 4 games left, Scotty. You got to turn it on. That's why I think if I'm Sandy Bordello, I'm leaning on my defense tonight. And I think the Valkyries will slow the game up as well.
I'm not expecting them to turn it on. I don't like them in the future market, like moving forward. I don't think they have that switch.
There's no value. There's no. And here's the thing.
They're overrated.
Gabe, here's what I'm going to say to you.
I would rather Phoenix or Las Vegas. I'm just saying, like at bigger odds.
Well, that's where I'm going. If you really look at the Liberty have the 5th best record in the WNBA. So that means they, number 1, don't have home court advantage in round 1. And 2, they got to go through Minnesota, who gives them fits. So to me, the only reason why they're where they at, Gabe, is because of the names on the back of their jersey, right? And they're getting people to think about Jonquel Jones, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud, Emma Messiman. They're looking at all these players, Sandy Bordello, defending champions, and thinking that's enough to carry you. That is not. I would much rather, honestly, take a team like the Phoenix Mercury, who I think is going to be extremely dangerous in the playoffs. Now, people are looking at a team like the Atlanta Dream. We'll see with that double big lineup of Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner. But to me, it's so interesting, Gabe, because even though Minnesota 6 games clear, you can legitimately make a case for 5 teams to win the WNBA title. And if Caitlin Clark was healthy, but and Caitlin Clark, listen, the Lynx have slipped up a little bit down the stretch, but they have such a much better record. But even if Indiana got Caitlin Clark back, even they would be like, maybe. So it's interesting times in the WNBA. So you may have to see, and those odds, Gabe, I think are going to change as you go day to day.
You're like this, Scott. Give me the Valkyries, 150-1. Let's shock the world as an expansion team.
All right.
I'll tell you this right now.
Las Vegas Golden Knights.
150-1 is a pretty big number if they get in the playoffs, man.
Defense travels, and that lady, if anyone, and I don't even care what Becky Hammon's done winning 12 games in a row, if that lady does not get unanimous coach of the year, that is highway robbery. Because that team was at a win total of 8.5. They were playing well. They lost Kayla Thornton at the All-Star break, and they're playing really good basketball. Listen, that's why I won't touch the game in regards to the spread, because the Valkyries can go mess around and win the game tonight versus Liberty. They've done it to other teams at home. They have arguably one of the best home court advantages in the WNBA.
I'm taking them plus the points.
All right,
what about the over, though, at 155? Yeah. Like, it's a low total. The Valkyries known for defense. I get it. They've racked up the unders. But as I stated, Coach and Scott, 3 of their last 5 games, Coach, they've racked up 90 or more points, this team. They're starting to score right now.
Yeah, they are starting to score. But when you look at the teams that they got those points against, you know, obviously you're looking at, you know, Valkyrie 75 versus the Fever. They're terrible. The Mystics, 99 points. They're weird. And then Dallas Wings gives up points to everyone. So that's where I think they're going to be a little bit less points. But really quick, guys, before I go, 2 props. Emma Messman, it's floating between 4.5 to 5.5. The 5.5 is plus money. 4.5 has got a lot of juice. I think she plays big minutes because they have to get her going, because they have to figure out her with John Quell and Stewie. Speaking of John Quell Jones over 1.5 made threes over 5 of the last 6 games. Had 2 threes in a game earlier this year versus the Valkyries, and the Valkyries are 10th in the WNBA in 3-point makes allowed. And if you think about this, Brianna Stewart is shooting at her career worst, about 22% from 3. She does her damage inside. John Quell goes outside. John Quell Jones over 1.5 made threes.
All right, and I asked you, was over 4.5. What was that play? Your first one you gave?
Oh no, that was Emma Messman. Emma Messman over 4.5 rebounds.
Oh,
but jump around.
Okay,
4.5, 5.5. 5.5 is plus money. 4.5, you look at juice.
Any love for Alyssa Thomas tonight?
Yeah, I was looking at Alyssa Thomas, rebounds plus assists, because I think she's trying to make a case late down the way from maybe winning.
She's passing the ball a lot, Coach, huh? The assists are racking up for her.
Yeah, but you think about it, when you have Kalia Copper and then you have Satu Sabal, you have 2 scores that can score the ball right there.
Coach, great job as always. Let's get some winners with our plays here, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Thanks to the coach. Coach James Young will join us during the NBA playoffs, I'm sure, from time to time. So I got one. We didn't have time to bring it up with the coach, but Alyssa Thomas, Gabe. I looked at her numbers. You know, listen, who wants to lay minus 190 on a bet, right? Nobody. But she's minus 190 to get a double-double tonight. So 17 games, last 17 games, she's 12-5 getting a double-double. And 4 of the 5 that she didn't, she had 9 rebounds or assists. And the other one, she had 8. So it's not like she's like falling off the wagon.
No, she gets the points all the time.
She's like right there, double-double.
Yeah, she gets the points, Scott, right? And it's like, okay. Even with the triple-double, she always flirts with the triple-double, too. Like, when you look at her numbers, she's just an absolute stat machine. And one thing, the Indiana Fever, there's a few teams that they're good to play player props with, right? And the Fever are a good one. The Sparks are a good one. The Wings. Some of these teams, you talk about it, they don't play defense in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Right? And most of them can score. They can shoot. They don't play defense. But look at her last game, 14-5-9. So she fell just short by 1. 15-9-6 the game before, Scott. So one game she had 5 rebounds, 9 assists. The other game she got 15 points, 9 rebounds, but 6 assists. And then she had she had 2 triple doubles in a row again. She does rack up these triple doubles like every week or so in bunches, though, doesn't she? Like, she's always a threat to get a triple double in any given night. But the odds have come down. What is it tonight? I'm going to guess like plus 340. Because remember, I got plus 500 that night, and it's never been the same.
Right.
I'm going to look now. I bet you it's like plus 340 or something.
Yeah. Let's see. I was surprised the minus 190 on the double-double. I thought that was a little low, to tell you the truth. She is
but that
plus
used to be in the yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It used to be plus 500
for a triple. Yeah.
Yeah. Triple double. What odds am I getting? Plus 320. You can bet the no at minus 450.
Assists is 33.5. But it's not.
That's the thing with her, though. You're sort of picking your poison. Does she rack up the points, the rebounds, or the assists? It's sort of like, it alternates almost.
Yeah. It's kind of weird with her. And this was the NBA. She's never going to have 9 rebounds or assists. So they'll make damn sure she gets the 10th one. That's how the NBA is. They all know the stats and stuff. So I'm a little surprised that she'd come so close so many games where they wouldn't just, all right, we'll just give you a 10th rebound. Go get one, or a 10th assist. So, but I'm going to lay the minus 190 with that one.
You are. They did that night I won, actually, because she had like 7 assists, 8 assists late, and she kept passing the ball, and they kept shooting right away, and they were aware of it. I guess it's to the point. For the triple-double, yeah. But I guess it's to the point where she's so close all the time. What are you going to do? You're going to do it every night for her? You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's almost because she's flirting with it every night almost. It's about the team concept. But they are good because she does distribute the ball. They got multiple scores on that team. I don't think they win the championship. If you had to say who's going to win the championship, besides the Lynx, do you think the Lynx are going to win? But at plus 120, it's unbettable.
Yeah. And I was going to bring this up, by the way, with the coach. I would take a flyer on Las Vegas. I would. I was going to bring this up with the coach.
That's what I've been saying for a month. They were 12-1 when I said that before. They're down to 550 now.
Indiana's better off not making the playoffs, Gabe. They're not going to win the championship this year. Clark's been out too long, and if she comes back, with a groin injury, she's not going to be in shape. She's missed almost 2 months now. They're not winning. So I know, again, it's not the NBA, but you're better off. Go get a top 5 pick. Now they've had the number 1 overall pick from last year, the number 1 overall pick from 2 years ago, and now they're going to have a top 5 pick this year. That's how you build, like, okay, now we're solid. Just sacrifice this year. The year's over for them. It's what's the point of being a number 7 or 8 seed and get knocked out in the first round? Get into the draft lottery. I don't know how the WNBA does the draft lottery, but they'd be guaranteed a top 4 pick, and that's really what they probably should do in the long haul. I know.
I think they're going to get in, Scott, because look, like the LA Sparks are fading, right? So you got the Sparks, although that was a hell of a win last night. I was going to say, like, dear God, yeah. Dude, they were down big, bro. They were down big in that game. And they came back, because I looked, and I was like, because people were talking about putting Seattle on money line parlays, right? Oh, the Sparks haven't won. They can't win. Seattle are going to beat them and all that type of stuff. But, okay, they're a game and a half back of the Seattle Storm. The Fever are right there. They're a game and a half up in the playoffs. And this Valkyrie team, they're going to make the playoffs, Scott. I mean, I don't think they're going to win, but at 150 to 1, Scott, it's not a bad number, bro, for an 18 playoff tournament. Like, and they win one series, and I can start hedging. Like, at 150 to 1, I can say, all right, I'll just take the other team now, you know?
Yeah. I'm surprised they're that big. I mean, listen, they're not a bad team. The days of thinking, okay, this is a fluky run or whatever, no, they're a good team.
They would play the Atlanta Dream right now.
They play defense. Defense wins in the postseason. So, not the craziest, little flyer at 100. Put $10 on it. You still got to win yourself $1 gazillion. At
$1,500.
It doesn't take much just to have a little flyer on it.
It
who's
wouldn't
so
take
great
much
this
to get
year
it up.
that they might not win, right?
They would play the Atlanta Dream
Minnesota?
as it is now. That's who they would play in the first round.
All right.
The 6-3 matchup. Vegas have worked their way into the 2 seed. They're tied with Atlanta for the 2 seed right now. The Phoenix Mercury are the 4 seed. They're right there, actually. So they're still, and so are the New York Liberty, but I'm not buying into the Liberty.
There's 4 teams. Yeah, there's 4 teams. Aren't they all tied with almost the same record for the number 2 seed when I looked at it today?
Yeah, and you'd rather be in that you want to stay away from that 4-5, right? That 4-5 is always a tough spot.
Right.
You at least be in that top.
And then you got Minnesota
3.
after that.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to avoid the Minnesota matchup, but I can't wait for the WNBA playoffs to see how this plays out. But 150 to 1 with the Valkyries, hey, whatever, man. I've spent money at bars before, and that's not coming back, right? There's worse ways of spending money than getting 150 to 1, and they're going to make the playoffs, Scott. Like, they're in right now. Like, they're the 6 seed right now. Like, I don't think they fade. They're going to be in.
And that's not a bad seed to be, number 6. All right, let's go look up that.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The Pirates use that thing, Joe. It's like once every 15 years, we'll hope for the perfect storm with lightning in a bottle, then we'll try to rebuild it again. Enough, man. In this day and age, with the prospects that you can certainly have by stinking every year and top-flight talent like you see in Paul Skeens, it's just a shame, and it gets on my nerves. Like, for me, being a Phillies fan, I think it's hilarious. Like, I never want Pittsburgh to be good. Why? Not because it's a rivalry. It's just a team you don't have to worry about in the playoffs, and your team can make the playoffs.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
There's no way you're going to have a team with 63 wins and 2 other teams with 55 and probably another 2 that are between 49 and 52. So there's got to be some pullback a little bit, right? Under 62.5 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Fast 2 hours in the books. Close up shop. Got a chance to get up to a couple of more winners here. I will throw it out there. Astros did get a base hit, so they got one as they play at the top of the 6th inning, trailing 6-0. So looks like they're going to lose, Gabe. But Seattle's, again, umpteen time, chance to take advantage of the situation. And the Mariners are losing now 6-4 against Tampa Bay as the Devil Dogs bat in the bottom of the 7th inning.
They came back, Scott, too, Seattle, right? They tied the game. They were down. They came back. They tied it 4-4, and now they're down 6-4. But, yeah, WNBA on the way out here, and I think we're on the same page. I think I'm taking the Valkyries plus the points. I think I'm expecting it to be a close game. Hell, plus 200 on Golden State's not a bad pick tonight, guys. They could win this game. And, in fact, I will sprinkle a bit on the money line. I'm going to play the over 155. Maybe call me stubborn, but I'm going to ride the wave. I think the Valkyries, they're scoring more points than they did before. You're seeing some of their games starting to go over the number. I'm laying the points with the Mercury, and I'll play the Fever Mercury over the number as well.
Yeah. I'm going to go same thing. I'll take Golden State. It's down to 5.5. It was 6.5 earlier today. So the people are betting Liberty. We mentioned earlier, 3-15-1 against the spread. Not just for like the last couple of weeks. That's the entire season. They've only covered 3 road games all year. So same thing. Put a little sprinkle on the money line. I think Golden State can win this thing outright. They're playing for their playoff lives. The New York is in the postseason, so all the incentive is on Golden State. They're more than capable of winning. Like that, I'm going to go to Alyssa Thomas. I'm going to lay the $1.90. I will. Maybe put it in a parlay with some of this other stuff, but I think she's going to get the double-double tonight. Going to go over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists as well. I think Indiana's shot. I know Caitlin Clark was practicing today. 5 on none. I don't know what that exactly means, but at least she's on the court. But it doesn't sound. This looks like craziest groin injury in the history of groin injuries. So I don't know if she's coming back or not. But I'm going to go with Phoenix minus the 7.5 as well. I think Indiana's done. So those are the kind of 3 plays. But Alyssa Thomas is the main one in that game, and then Golden State.
Phoenix are hot right now.
5.5.
6-1 in their last 7.
Well.
They're one of the streaking teams. I'm going to play the Copper over the 15.5 points. As well in that game. The Texas Rangers and the D-backs have begun, guys. And Scott, Texas didn't score in the first inning. Arizona got a runner on second base in the bottom of the first. And the Rangers popped all the way up to plus 115. It's amazing the line movement that you see in these baseball games, like batter by batter, right? It was plus 115. Now it's minus 115. 30-cent swing from a runner on second base and getting out of the inning. So the Rangers do get out of the inning. They're minus 115 now.
That's crazy. I mean, some of the in-game line stuff with all sports, but baseball also. So, you want to take a little flyer on the Atlanta Braves at +6. Bottom of the 8th inning, never mind. How about the dopey Kansas City Royals? Another team, we don't talk too much about them. Doors open for them to make a little move there in the American League, and they're losing at home to the LA Angels 5-1, bottom of the 9th inning. You can't do that. You just, if you want to be real players. So I still like the Rocks, or I still like the Giants. I'm going to grab them. They're up 2-1, bottom of the 4th inning, laying a run and a half at minus 146. Didn't want to lay the minus 230 before. Little surprised things have calmed down since the bench clearing brawl.
Yeah.
Really am, to tell you the truth.
I said it as a joke at the time. It actually hurt us. We were betting against Freeland. And Freeland got the second batter of the game went deep on him. And then he got kicked out of the game. It's almost like he did himself a favor. And it threw everything off after. Let's just be real. It's like he knew, all right, I'm getting lit up every day. I'm getting kicked out tonight. So he gets kicked out, and here we are right now, and their bullpen is pitching well, Scott. You can't make this stuff up. I swear to God, if Freeland was in there, he probably gives up 6 runs in the first inning.
I don't doubt it. And he's a veteran, and they would keep him in there, Gabe. They would just say, all right, we're not going to take you out like you're a rookie. You go give up the 1,000 runs like you normally do. So, yes, it's one of those where, sometimes you can make a bet if a pitcher starts, but crazy, right? Maybe he knew. You joke about it, but maybe he just, I don't want to be out here tonight. And it's San Francisco. It's Colorado. We suck. What am I doing here? You know what? I don't feel it. I'm tired. I'm going to get myself thrown out of this game rather than just get lit up for 20 runs. I mean, you never know. I wouldn't doubt with these pitchers these days. So, no score. top of the second with Texas and Arizona. And Baltimore already 1-0 over San Diego. Padres down to minus 140.
For the record, too, Grisham hit a grand slam. Grisham hit a grand slam tonight for the Yankees. That's how they got the 6-0 lead.
That's how they got the 6-0. Yankees been playing well. Sad to say.
They got power, man.
We'll be back tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, folks.
Alabama, Florida State, years Georgia opened with Clemson, and then Oregon and LSU and Les Miles opened with Oregon and smacked them around. Alabama knocked around USC and Wisconsin and Va-Tech for years. The SEC fears nobody.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely